when it comes to this David and this Celeste Rivas-Hernandez situation and case, there is a lot more that is going on underneath the surface than a lot of us is actually realizing, and these things are soon about to come out. Now, my name is Meek. I am your favorite psychic / tarot reader, and we are going to go ahead and pick up on the energies and the things that will be revealed over the next couple of weeks when it comes to this case. So right off the bat, the first card while I was pre-shuffling that I got was this Two of Swords energy, where this lets me know that there is still a lot to be uncovered. There is still a lot that we just do not know about, a lot of things that are being keeping hidden. Now, when it comes to this, I will say this. I do believe that whatever is keeping hidden, it's gonna go into the degree of pain that was caused to Celeste while she was actually living, with the Nine of Wands being here. So this lets me know that she definitely endured a lot. I would also say that Spirit is picking up that with the Three of Pentacles being here as well, David did not act alone. There was multiple people that came together to accomplish this goal. It benefited multiple people when it came to Celeste. And definitely injustice was done with the Justice card being here in the reverse. So let's go ahead and just get further into this message when it comes to David and Celeste. Now, it may get deep, so I will understand if you need to go ahead and click off this video. But if you want deep insight, go ahead and stay tuned. So right off the bat, we want to know, Spirit, what is the things that is not being being revealed at this current time, with that Two of Swords being here? Okay, and give me just one more card. Okay. I would say this, when it comes to the Celeste situation, what we are not seeing with the Two of Swords being here, the card that I got clarified that's the most powerful is this Devil card being here in the upright. I'm going to be honest with you, the energy that I am picking up is, we do not know the degree of evil that really took place when it comes to this young woman and her unfortunately losing her life. With the Devil card, I'm getting such dark and heavy energy when it comes to this. And that's what we don't know. This is even worse than what is being reported on the news. With the Temperance card being here as well, I wouldn't be surprised, because the Temperance card, especially being here in the reverse, this could point to alcoholism. This could substance abuse, things along those lines. I would not be surprised if it came out later on down the line that she may have been drugged, or there was alcohol involved. Something where she was very much heavily under the influence prior to this sense of evil happening. But I will say this. With the Five of Wands being here in the upright, this is a card of battle, of competition. But this is giving me, during this time, she really, really fought for her life. She really, really tried to fight for herself during this time. Maybe even advocate for herself. But there was a lot of evil that was done. I want to know, when it comes to the people that were involved, outside of David, what is this Three of Pentacles being here? What is this Three of Pentacles being here, Spirit? What is this Three of Pentacles being here? Okay. Okay, I'm gonna take all of it. I'm gonna be honest with you. When it comes to it, I think that there was someone else with the Hierophant being here. The Hierophant is the teacher. The Hierophant typically is someone that you go to for guidance. I want to be honest with you. With the Three of Pentacles being here, I believe that there was an energy of someone was the mastermind behind this, especially when it comes to, I'm just going to be very honest with you. With the Chariot card talks about movement. It could talk about travel. It talks about moving in a decisive way. This lets me know there was someone who organized and really planned with David or alongside of him. He was not the only one. It definitely feels like there was a mastermind behind this. And their objective ultimately, with the Tower card being here in the reverse, I can't even make this shit up, is that their objective was to hide and to conceal the drama, the torment, the disaster that actually took place, leading towards this injustice being here. Now, Spirit, what do you need us to know? What do you need us to know? What do you need us to know? Especially, let me get specifically, when it comes to David and his mindset leading up to this. What was his mindset leading up to this? Okay, let's get two more cards. I'm gonna be honest with you, because this energy is very, very, very heavy. I'm gonna be honest with you. To a certain degree, with David in his mind, when it came to Celeste, I'm picking up on the energy that with the Ace of Cups being here, to a certain degree, in his mind, he really did feel like he loved her. There was a deep emotional connection and bond that these two people did share. Now, with that, I also have the King of Cups. This lets me know, even though there was a deep emotional bond that they shared, with David's energy, emotionally he was controlling. Emotionally he was manipulative. Emotionally he carried energy of being very, very, very erratic emotionally. And with his emotional erraticness, it did not help that this Emperor energy here, with him feeling as though he has to control everything. This is Aries energy. This feeling as though that he had to be in control. He had to be the one who had the final say. So leading up to this was very conflicted energy on his end, where he feels a deep emotional attachment, but because you lack emotional maturity, and there are things that feel emotionally off with him, and your need for control, that's all you were thinking leading up into this point. Now, I want to get a little bit more into, let's actually clarify this. Spirit, give me a clarifying card for the King of Cups in the reverse. The Ace of Cups in the upright. Okay, and then the Emperor card in the upright. Okay, I'm going to be honest with you. The Ace of Cups, one of his motivating factors that really pushed him to the point of this, his emotional edge or his emotional erraticness, with this King of Cups being here, it's the Ten of Pentacles in the reverse. Him thinking he was going to lose his stability, his finances, his long-term success. The Ten of Pentacles in the upright talks about generational wealth. But in the reverse, this talks about losing it, debt, your family going into debt, things along those lines. I believe that he knew that in the position that he was in, he could have literally lost it all financially, and this was one of the things that was driving him to act in an emotionally erratic way. Now, the thing about this is, I wanted to clarify the Ace of Cups, and it talks about this emotional bond. With the Strength card being here, this reinforces it. This gives me that not only did he feel totally in love with this young child, but this bond was very, very strong, very heavy. And if he was emotionally erratic and immature the way that it seems, because the Emperor, this controlling energy that he has, with the Sun card being here in the reverse, it's coming out of a place of emotional immaturity, almost like how a child wants to be in charge, but they do not have the foresight to be able to conduct and be in charge in that kind of way. Because of that, it feels like it got very, very controlling. There's something very childlike that I am picking up on David's energy. I would just like to see, what am I picking up when it comes to David's energy and this childlike energy? What am I picking up on? I would say this, the childlike energy that I am picking up on when it comes to the Empress being here, this is definitely mother-like energy. And then I got the Ten of Wands being here. This gives me energy that David may have been very much coddled by the females in his life, where they took on a lot of the responsibilities for him. And that's why he comes off as being very emotionally stunted and immature. Now, I want to pick up on what were the things that Celeste was going through up into this point. And I'm going to go ahead and pull another deck, so just give me one moment. Okay, so I want to know what Celeste was going through, but more so, I want to pick up on that devil energy that I was feeling in the first half of our spread. Spirit, really tap into what is that dark energy that I'm feeling around David. What is that? Okay. What else do we need to know? Okay. Not only that, I would say that I believe that even though there's an air of immaturity around him, with the King of Swords being here in the upright, David is a lot more calculated than people may have seen, especially when it comes to what Celeste was going through during this time. David was very, very calculated with that Ace of Swords being here, especially regarding the Page of Swords being here in the reverse. And Swords typically talks about communication. With this being in the reverse, this lets me know it feels like he was very calculated on who she may have reached out to, who she may have been in communication with. Spirit is giving me that he isolated her to be only around the people that he saw fit. But her actually reaching out to her family and friends, she may not have been able to. I'm also picking up on her energy with the 5 of Cups being here in the upright. I think that she was getting to a point where she was starting to just regret some of the decisions and how she was moving, especially emotionally, because I do believe that there was a lot of battles. Once again, a lot of battles, a lot of fight. I do believe that she went through a lot of turmoil dealing with this person. With the 7 of Wands being here, reinforcing this gives me she was probably the only one really defending herself in this time, especially with her being isolated. Spirit, what else, during that time with Celeste, pick up on Celeste's energy. Let's get 2 cards. Okay. I think ultimately, and this may have just been the naivety within her, but ultimately, I do believe with the Fool card being here, she just wanted to be able to have a brand new start. I do believe that she may have wanted to remove herself from this situation. Because when it comes to the situation with the 2 of Cups being here, she started to feel that it was definitely very uneven and unyoked. And for her, ultimately with the Hanged Man being here, the Hangman talks about perception. And I think that her perspective, and it's almost like seeing the glass half empty or seeing the glass half full. I think that her perspective started to change, because before it feels like she may have done anything to try to come into balance with David to have success, but it feels like during the end things were starting to really change. She started to maybe want something new. Also being here with the Page of Cups being here underneath, we have to remember that she was also moving with an air of naivety because she was essentially a child. Spirit, what else do we need to know? David is very erratic with the King of Wands being here in the reverse. Very erratic during this time. He was very erratic during this time. What else do you need us to know? And there was a lot of fears that he was holding in underneath it all with the 9 of Wands being here in the reverse. There was a lot of fears and anxiety regarding things coming to a halt and a stop for him. Was that his biggest motivation, things just stopping for him? Was that his biggest motivation on why he did that? I'm going to be honest with you. That may not have been his biggest motivation, but some of his biggest motivations is with the King of Cups, emotionally erratic, with the Ace of Wands being here in the reverse. This is crazy, chaotic energy. This is giving me, he may have honestly just lost control because he is not someone who would have control over his emotions anyway. So there's a lot more to discuss. I may go ahead and do a part 2 to this, but go ahead and stay tuned. And if you like content like this, go ahead and drop me a like or a follow. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.